Now that remote trading is coming to Pokemon Go, you'll want to start being more proactive about interacting with your friends every single day in game. For anybody that's had me added on their friends list, I'm sure that they can tell you that I've been quite consistent when it comes to sending gifts, despite having close to the max amount of friends you can have in game at 450. That limit is also going to be increased soon to 650, so you'll really want to utilize some of the tips and tricks that I'm going to talk about in this video. I also just recently cleared out a bunch of people on my friends list, and I added a ton of you who watch my videos, and I'd actually still love to add even more people from different regions for the scatterbugs. So if you're a consistent gift opener, drop your friend code down below in the comment section. That aside, this video is going to focus on some essential tips and tricks that I personally use to interact consistently with the people on my friends list, and as somebody who plays this game mostly free to play, this is the #1 way to earn experience without spending any money on the game. So if you're still pushing for level 70 or even level 80 in Pokemon Go and you don't have enough experience, you definitely want to take advantage of the stuff I'm going to go over in this video to really maximize your increased experience. You just have to be consistent. Now, even though the friends list is going to have a limit of 650 spots, even half of that can be pretty overwhelming to some people. So if you want to go through and occasionally delete inactive friends who stop playing or just don't interact as often, I do encourage that. It's much better to have a healthy friends list. That being said though, even if you do delete a friend off your friends list, you're still going to have 120 days or 4 months to re-add them and still maintain your friendship status before it resets completely. Now, for those of you looking for a quick explanation on how the new remote trading system is going to work, you guys can check out this video right here on screen. I uploaded this over on my clips channel because it was more of a shorter video, but it pretty much covers everything you need to know in regards to that. Otherwise though, for this video, let's get into the tips and tricks to help you guys progress even faster with your friendships in game. So the first thing that I want to go over are going to be the gift limits. There are limits to how many gifts you can open, send, and hold every single day. This can be increased by raising your trainer level in game, and sometimes we'll even get an additional increase from the Go Pass or the seasonal bonus. Now when it comes down to the base amount for the sending limit, that's going to be 100 gifts every single day, and then for the opening limit, that's going to be 30 gifts every single day. Once again, this can increase further depending on your trainer level. Next up, I want to talk about the interactions or the blue aura. So for those of you unaware, you can actually see when someone has interacted with you for that day by the blue aura behind their trainer profile. If they opened your gift for the day, you should ideally open the gift of somebody else to maximize your interactions in total for that day. If they don't have the blue aura, then you can open their gift, but if they're the type of friend to open your gift right before midnight anyways, you might just want to hold off and let them get the interaction. I do have a few friends who are kind of reliable in that way, and so I just make sure that they have a gift available from me, and then they always open it before midnight. Now there are going to be other ways to earn interaction, so opening gifts isn't the only way you can do that. If you're in a battle with them, like a raid battle, max battle, or gym battle, this will also count. So if you have people that you typically raid with, for example, you should avoid opening their gifts until later in the day, because you'll most likely get your daily interaction just from battling. You can also earn an interaction by battling a friend through the PvP system or by trading with them. I do have a few friends that I meet up with to trade with on a regular basis, and so if I know I'm going to trade with one of them that day, I do avoid opening their gift for that specific day. Now we also recently got the addition of weekly challenges in game, which is a way to get 7 days of interactions at once. You can have up to 4 people in your party for this, and once you actually complete it, then you're going to get your friendship hearts. If there are people you want to speed up the progress with to get to the remote trading option at Forever Friends, you should be doing your weekly challenges with them every single week. Now we should also talk about priority interactions, as this has kind of changed in terms of the remote trading option. So there are essentially 2 groups of trainers, right? Local trainers and global trainers. Previously, you'd want to prioritize your local trainers in order to meet up and get your lucky trades done. However, now that remote trading is a feature in game, you do want to prioritize the trainers who interact the most consistently, and ideally the ones that are going to be easy to trade with. I've traded with a lot of people over the years, and let me tell you right now, some people can be insanely difficult to trade with. I do try my best to make it as easy as possible these days, and I'm going to go over some trading etiquette right now, because for anybody who wants to, do more lucky trades with locals or even just do the remote trades in the future, it's probably good you know some of this stuff. So while some people are generous with their trades, you should always aim for something fair, and I'll give you a few examples right now. A good one is going to be legendary for legendary or shiny legendary for shiny legendary. Obviously that one seems pretty self-explanatory. You also have really common shinies like the ones you get from community days because they're boosted at a shiny rate of 1 out of 25, so people usually have a lot of these in terms of extras. So you can always do like a calm day, for example. We had like Picky Peck, right? You can do like a shiny Picky Pick for like a shiny Solosis. That would be a fair trade. You could also just do any other shiny if you want to, but in terms of rarity that does get a little bit more complicated. A very simplified way of looking at that is just the calm day shiny aspect, which is what I typically do use myself. You also have regional for regional, background for background, Gigantamax for Gigantamax. So you guys basically get the idea here. Typically you want to offer something similar for whatever they have, and depending on the rarity, this will play a role in the trait as well. For example, there are some shiny legendary Pokemon like Mewtwo, for example, that haven't been available for a few years now, and therefore if you do have one of those, it is going to be a bit rarer than like another shiny legendary that was recently in rotation. When it comes down to it, navigating a more complex trade can be quite time consuming, so if you just want to make your life easier, doing something simple like a Comday shiny or a non-shiny legendary will be a much smoother process overall, and typically when it comes to people who don't know what to trade, I try to aim for something like this just to make our lives easier. Now if you would like to navigate more complex trades, it does really help to have some tags set up for what you do want to trade. I recently created a shiny mirror tag, which has been extremely helpful. I just have them look at the tag, see if they want to mirror any shinies in there, and more often than not, they do find something that they do want to trade from that list that they also have. And you know, most of the time we end up getting really bad IVs on our shiny Pokemon, so if you want to reroll and try to get that Shundo through a lucky trade, it is a 1 out of 64 chance of actually happening, so it's a really, really good chance right there. And if they don't want to do a mirror shiny, that's perfectly fine. Typically they want something more meta relevant, and so it's easy to find a legendary or Gigantamax Pokemon that is applicable, and vice versa. Most people don't end up getting the Hundo legendary Pokemon from raid battle, so it's always good to have a few extras available from personal experience, and this way your trades can just go a bit smoother. Anyways though, going back to the main topic of this video, the next thing I want to talk about is a really, really critical thing, and that's going to be these search strings. And so this is going to be for your friends list, and this helps me navigate through things so easily. Otherwise, if I wasn't using these, it would take me so long to send and open my gifts. So first of all, we're going to have the interactable search string. This will show you which friends you have not interacted with for the day. This does not filter out which ones have received a gift though, so I don't typically use this one by itself, but it can be combined with other search strings, which make it a lot more usable. Next up, we're going to have the giftable search string. This will show you which friends can receive a gift from you. If you've already sent them a gift, there will be a gray arrow on the bottom of their trainer icon. There's also going to be a sort option for this that you can use from the menu, and this is just the can receive a gift. It's pretty easy, but I typically like to use this search string and then with something like friendship level, and that way I can actually sort and prioritize gifts to people who, you know, are lower friendship or higher friendship, depending on what I want to go for. Now there's also going to be another search string for friend level, so you can type in friend level 1, friend level 2, friend level 3, and then friend level 4 for best friends. And if you sort by friendship level after using this search string, you can actually reverse the order of the friends that you're close to leveling up with, and then you can kind of figure out which ones are going to be leveling up soon. So let me show you this right now. I believe I do have somebody that's close to best friends here. They've been holding on to my gift for a little bit of time, but hopefully they do open it soon. And this person is also, I believe, 1 day away from best friends, and I think this person is too. Yes, so they're all 1 day away from best friends, and so you can just, again, reverse the order that way by friendship level, type in friend level 3, friend level 2, friend level 1, and you can easily find the people that you're going to level up friendship with quickly. Now finally, the last search string is going to be lucky. This will just pull up all of your lucky friends, and so as you can tell, I have 37. I had like 52 the other day, but I just deleted a bunch of inactive people, so I got rid of a ton, and you know, we'll see if I get rid of any more in the future that are just kind of inactives. But as of right now, these are all the lucky friends I decided to keep. Hopefully they are going to interact consistently moving forward. If they do not, maybe I will just delete them. I kind of have the hope that for people that I just struggle to trade with in person, we will get the remote trading option in the future and we can just do our lucky trade that way. Next up, let's talk about the combinable search strings and filter. So you can combine any of the search strings that I just mentioned by using the and symbol. For example, I have interactable and giftable here. This will pull up all of your friends that can receive a gift and you have not interacted with for that day. So I only have 18 friends right here that I haven't interacted with for this day in terms of the ones that are also giftable. I also use a text replacement for this on my keyboard to pull it up even quicker. So once again, I'll show this on screen. I just type in XX, press return, and boom, now that pulls it up really quickly. I'm not entirely sure how to set this up on Android, but I can do a quick video over on my Clips channel if you guys want to see how to actually set this up for iPhone. Now you can also exclude any of these options by using the exclamation point. So if I wanted to exclude lucky friends, I would just type in exclamation point and then type out lucky, and now all my lucky friends are excluded. Now you can also do this with the other combination, so if I want to type in exclamation point lucky and then and giftable, now I can see everybody who's not lucky friends and then everybody who I can also gift for that day. So that's pretty helpful. Now you can also combine these search strings with nickname searches as well. So I'm going to go over my most frequently used nicknames right now that I personally use, and then we can kind of go over some more additional things that I think you might find helpful. Now I do want to start by saying that you can only nickname up to 20 trainers every single hour. There is a server side limit from Pokemon Go, so if you do hit the nickname limit, you're just gonna have to come back later to continue. That said, even though it's quite time consuming to set up, you will thank yourself later. This is made by process so much easier to navigate in terms of just friends list management, so I do recommend going through and setting this up in a way that is efficient for you. So first of all, let me go over my local tag. I use SCV, and so these players are often prioritized because if we do get lucky friends, it's a lot more likely I'm going to be able to get the trade done in person. And so I was prioritizing these people for a long time, and now with the remote trade option, I might have to rethink that a little bit, but for the most part, I still want to interact with all these people as much as possible, because again, like, remote trading is still going to take you like 90 days of additional interaction, whereas, you know, the lucky friends that you get that are local, you can just go and do these in person. So at the end of the day, I still think it is worth prioritizing your locals if you are able to go and interact with them. And so sometimes I'll use a combination search, like I'll do interactable and giftable and then and SCV. And this way I can pull up anybody who I need to interact with for that day. There's only like 3 people I haven't sent gifts to, so there's really not that many, and that's pretty much about it. The next one I want to go over is for my Scatterbug friends. I use this icon right here, and then I type in the region that they're from in regards to which Scatterbug they have. And so I'm trying to collect all 100% IV Scatterbugs. I do have a sickness. It's probably going to take me forever, but I do, try to pinpoint where their locations actually are. I use a map online to help me figure that out, and then I rename them accordingly. And so I have a few friends on here that I do open and pin their postcards, and that way I can get Scatterbugs from them. So just like that. Now I already interacted with that person for the day, so I'm not going to interact with them again. But for example, this person I haven't, so let me just pin their postcard. So that one's pretty helpful right there. I think it's good to have these players organized in a way that's efficient for you. Like this way, I just have to type in one symbol and it pulls up pretty much everyone I want to interact with in terms of Scatterbugs. That's really helpful. Once again, for the locals, this comes out really well too. And then I can do other combination search strings to make it even easier to find people I need to interact with. As a YouTuber, I always do try to take advantage of the referral program because people do actually add me, so I can't imagine that's something a lot of players are probably going to utilize themselves, but I'll just talk about it really quick. So I actually use this symbol for all of my referrals. I've gone through this list, there were way more before, and in the future, I'll just kind of add my code again on the videos, and you guys can add me if you'd like to for just coming back to the game. It's a win-win for both of us since we actually get rewards for both the referee and the referrer. And so if you haven't played the game in over 90 days, my referral code is always linked in the description down below. You can always use that. I have literally accumulated so many incubators from this referral system. I'll show you right now. Like, I have so many people that I've referred over the past couple of years in Pokemon Go. I've done 1,016, so yeah, I mean, a lot of people have used my referral code over the years. I have plenty of friend space now, so I'm more than happy to, put that code out there again if you guys do want to add me this way. Then the next one I want to go over is for people that I've added on YouTube. A lot of you guys, I do just add from the comments section, so if you do ever drop your friend code and you think, oh, he's probably not going to read this, well, sometimes I do, and if you ever add your Scatterbug region, and it's not something that I currently have a hundo of, I will most likely add you. Recently added a bunch of people to work on the level 74 task for leveling up. I had to send like 500 gifts, and so I added a bunch of people. Some people are more consistent than others with their gifts, and so again, I do want to keep people who are very consistent on my friends list. I'll probably end up removing some people in the future as we get closer to Ultra Friends if they're kind of slowing down compared to everybody else. Those last two aside though, this next one is a little bit more applicable, so you guys might find this one helpful. It's what I use for my miscellaneous, like a catch-all option. I'll probably end up taking some of these people from this list and making a separate nickname for them in the future. Like my friend Scott, we've been lucky friends for forever. He was one of my old coworkers at my old job, and so he still interacts with me on like a regular basis. I have to imagine we'll probably get the remote trading option. He lives like 2.5 hours away from me, so it's just never practical to actually meet up and get our trade done, but I guarantee like this is going to be one of the guys I for sure remote trade with in the future, and the fact that we're lucky friends makes it even better. I'm not going to tell you who is who for every single name in this list, but just know that some of them are difficult to trade with, some of them are just inactive, and some of them are actually great gifters, and I still want to interact with them on a regular basis like my friend Scott. So at the end of the day, it is just a catch-all miscellaneous tag. I would not take it personal if you see your name in here. Now for anybody that I want to remove off my friends list, I'll usually go through and try to figure out, if they're inactive or if they're just people that I'm done working on friendship with, or at this point working towards the remote trading option for Forever Friends. So what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll check on their profile. For this person, it's a great example because that Pikachu was caught during GoFest in June. So this person clearly hasn't played in a long time. They were a referral ad. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to re-nickname with this slash icon. And this way, when I go through and I delete people later after I've gone through and marked them, I don't have to go to the start of my friends list. See, if I deleted this person right now, it would take me to the very top of my friends list again, which is kind of annoying that that actually happens, but it is what it is. So just renaming them and, you know, kind of going through and deleting them later is a more effective strategy of kind of handling this. Now, what you can also do is you can rename them and then type out their XP. So I didn't mean to click on that trade right there. So if I type in slash and then 1385, if I wanted to, you know, see if this person wasn't an active trainer, I could come back in like 2 weeks, check to see if their XP hasn't changed, and if it hasn't, then I can go through and then delete them. Now, another really cool trick to remove bad gifters or inactive players is to sort by recent, and this way you can go through and you can figure out who is like a bad gifter or they're just inactive, because they're going to significantly stand out compared to other trainers. Remember, the goal here is going to be to grind it out for lucky friends and remote trades, or one or the other. The more people that you do have on your friends list who you won't be interacting with, the harder it's going to be to navigate your friends list. This person probably doesn't play anymore, and you can tell that, you know, they actually haven't even opened the game since the level cap update. I have some referral stuff I need to claim from them, and so I'll go through and I can do that later, but you can tell just going by recent here, and again, sorting by recent like that, you can start to pinpoint, you know, who isn't really working on friendship with you anymore, and you can figure out if they're inactive or not. Again, you can use that nickname trick I told you about, type a slash, then type in their XP, and then you can pull them up in a few weeks and see if their XP hasn't changed. If it hasn't, you can just remove them. Now, I want to go over a few scenarios to remove players, and these are ones that I've personally gone through myself, and maybe you guys have as well. So we have the lucky friends that are going to be non-local. So let me pull these up, and I'll pull up a lucky friend right now who isn't local. Let's see. This guy is not local. He was a referral ad. I'm probably going to keep him added, but we'll just use him as an example for right now. If this is you and you're watching this video, I'm not going to remove you. Don't worry about it. But now that we have the option to remote trade in the future, like even if you can't communicate with a lucky friend, if they are a consistent gift opener like this guy is, you still want to keep them added, because with the way that the remote trade system works, you can still get your trade done without ever having to communicate. We'll use my friend Gucci Gang or my friend Jennabug, for example, because they both don't play anymore, but let's pretend, for example, that I didn't know who they were, right? I didn't know who these people were in real life. And so if that were the case and they're not interacting with me anymore, I would then go and remove them off your friends list. At that point, they're just taking up space. And again, at least if they're interacting like this guy is, like he's opening my gifts every single day still, we're most likely going to get to the remote trade option at some point in the future. Because even though we're lucky friends and I have no idea who this person is, I know that they're a referral at least, but just knowing that we're consistently interacting is good enough for me to keep them on my friends list. If they stop interacting, then you kind of should consider removing them even if you are lucky friends, because you're never going to get that trade done. Next up, I want to go over locals that don't open or send, but they still play. I think it's great to add as many local players as you can, but some of them are just terrible about interacting through gifts. If you at least see them in person and you guys interact occasionally through raid battles or through trading Pokemon or something like that, it might be worth keeping them, but if you interact like once every few weeks, it's going to take a lifetime to get the best friends and eventually lucky friends, and dare I say even forever friends for the remote trading option. I would rather prioritize people who are consistent even if they don't live nearby. Again, the remote trading system really changed the way this all works, and so for my friend here, like, I'm going to keep him added because he's my friend, I've known him for a really long time, but let's pull up somebody else for my local community and I can give you guys an example here. Like this guy, for example, rhilario87, compared to some of the other people on my friends list who are from, you know, again, my local area, they're all past ultra friends. He is barely past great friends. So at a certain point, I'm probably just going to consider deleting this guy. He clearly doesn't play that much, or probably not going to interact all that much in total. And so again, if we're interacting every now and then, I do have like thresholds for that. Every few days is fine with me. I'm not like a, you know, super hardcore player where if you don't interact with me in one day, I'm going to delete you. Like every few days is fine. And even then I'll give you some time to, you know, get into the rhythm of it. But if you're just kind of not meeting at the pace as everyone else, I'd rather, you know, keep that friend space open for other people. And again, you don't have to have the max friend space to want to do this. You can do this with whatever number you feel comfortable with managing. If you only want to have like 200 friends, I mean, try to prioritize people who are all really, really good. You know, you don't want to have like one random person who's kind of, you know, taking up a spot when other people could be, you know, utilizing that spot and working towards the remote trading option with you. Next up, I want to go over the gift hostage players. Now, I'm over maximizing the amount of experience you get. I'm not trying to call this guy out. Honestly, he's fine with me. He's only held on to my gift for like a little over a week now. That's cool. Like, if you want to maximize the amount of experience you get on a lucky egg by stacking your friendship experience and keeping a few people like one day away, I'm cool with that, but there are limits to this. I don't really mind waiting a few weeks, but after a few months, it becomes a bit ridiculous. And I understand that sometimes players will take breaks from the game, but there has to be a limit to how long you keep someone on your friends list like this in limbo one day away from that level up experience. Now, some of you may remember this. There was another YouTuber who had me at one day away from best friends for close to 2 years. I eventually did remove them off my friends list, and I also want to clarify I have no issues with this person for anybody who knows who I'm talking about, but it just didn't make sense to keep them on my friends list anymore if they weren't going to interact with me. I ideally wanted to hit best friends and try to get lucky friends so that way when we met up in person at the next in-person event, we could do a trade. But at that point, that person didn't even really want to interact with me to even hit best friends, so there was just no point. And now with the remote trade option, it would have been the exact same thing. Again, like, it's more applicable now with the remote trades. If you're not going to interact with someone on a regular basis, what's the point, right? Once again, I don't mind people holding on to my gift for a few weeks if you want to stack the experience on a lucky egg. That's totally cool. But in an extreme scenario where it's a few months, or even where it's like 2 years like that one YouTuber, and you're still actively playing the game and you're uploading all the time on YouTube, I don't think there's a good reason to hold on to somebody's gift for that long without actually opening it. So again, there are limits to this stuff. Some of you guys may have much lower thresholds for that, and that's perfectly fine. I don't mind because I do like to do this myself, but I try not to drag it out too long. And so a few weeks, totally cool. Even a few months, I would say you can probably get away with it in certain scenarios with me. But if you start pushing over a year, you're gonna get kicked off my friends list, and I'm just gonna say, whatever, man, I'm not gonna give in to the sunk cost fallacy. I'm gonna give up the experience and give that friend spot to somebody else. Now, one thing I wanna go over in this video before we end things off is going to be how to open and send gifts quickly. There's actually a few shortcuts or a few ways to skip the animations for this stuff, so I'll show you guys how to do that right now. We'll go over the gift opening animation first and how you can actually skip this. So go to a gift and then click on it. And if you want to do the scatter bug, you can pin it and unpin it. And now when we go to open it, you want to hit that X button at the very bottom extremely fast, right? So I'm going to hit open, and I'm going to hit X really fast, just kind of spam through it, and you can skip the entire animation. Now I'll show you what that looks like if I don't do that, right? If I just click open, I'm going to have to go through this. I can still tap through it, and it's going to be relatively fast. I guess it kind of just glitched out right there. Okay, that seemed to be fine, but I'll show you this one now. So let's pin this one, and we'll open the gift. Again, you can spam tap through it. It'll still be decently fast, but if you want to get through it even quicker, if you can, just spam the X button, you can skip the entire animation. And so if you're going through and opening your gifts every single day, like for some reason there's like an additional delay right there too, you can just get through this really fast. So I'll just go through and pin that, open, boom, done. On to the next one. Pin, unpin, open, done. See how much faster that is? So if you want to go through and open your gifts every single day really quickly, like, trust me, that's a game changer. I understand some people, they just hate to go through all the additional animations. I get it. It's a lot of extra time. But if you go through and you just try to skip the animations using that trick, it's going to make your life so much easier every single day to open all your gifts. And nice, we actually just got a jungle scatterbug. It was not shiny, and it is not hundo. Decent CP, but 211 is the hundo for the scatterbug, by the way, and I do have that sickness just because I keep trying for these. So that is that right there, and I will make sure to mark it. By the way, whenever you're catching scatterbugs, it's always good to go through and just nickname them the region that they're from. That way it's just easy to find them for trades, and then I can just put this in my rare trade tag. And boom, now I'm good to go. Now let me go through how to actually send gifts quickly. So it's kind of the same process here. Again, use the giftable and interactable search string. If you can use a text replacement, even better. Now if you go through and you hit send, it again is going to go through this full animation, but if you go and you just tap the X button really quick, you can get through it even faster. It really doesn't take that long. The search string just makes it much easier to find the people that you need to send the gifts to. And so I'm just going through and I'm just sending these real fast. See, it doesn't really take that long, and so once you have like a full inventory of gifts, you can go through and do this, and boom, now you're done, and you're good to go. So again, opening and sending gifts doesn't have to be a very time-consuming process. It can be pretty simple. It's just, you gotta understand how to skip that animation. And so again, now you know, hopefully this makes your gift opening and gift sending process go even smoother. The search strings help me out a ton with this, especially when it comes down to sending gifts, and so I do hope it helps you guys out as well. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. Anyways, those are gonna be my thoughts in regards to that. For anybody that made it this far into the video, thank you so much for listening to me, and I hope you did find this video helpful. I really feel like, utilizing the friendship system is such a great way to get experience in this game, and now with the remote trading option, it's a lot more exciting. So I wish you guys all the best of luck. If you have any more questions about any of this stuff, let me know in the comment section as well. Otherwise, if you do want to check out some more Pokemon Go content, I'm going to recommend these two videos next.